I'm gonna record. And we like to once again thank you to joining our sessions of Coast to Coast. So this session is about Arlington, Virginia, which is not that far from our Boston campus. It's about, I want to say, like a 7-hour Amtrak train ride door to door, and maybe like an hour and a half plane ride because we're just really that close. So some fun facts are like what you don't or what you may know or don't know about Northeastern is that we're a top ranked R1 research school. So something that we are continue to hear out of myself and team and other members just within the Northeastern is that we're really heavy on research. And that is something that we continue to do. And experiential learning is something that we are proud of. And that is like our hashtag, I like to call it, and something that you will continue to keep hearing. Also, many of you may know we are known for our co-op. We are ranked #1 in co-op, and we continue to increase our co-ops throughout the year. And every year, the numbers continue to keep changing. We get more co-op partners, and a lot of our students do co-op. Within Northeastern, there's 10 colleges and schools, and then we make over 50,000 student body. College of Engineering is 1/3 of the largest student body within Northeastern University. And then we also have everything under the sun from all our BA to MS all the way to PhD. So you also do have an option to do PhD after your MS. And then, of course, our research grants that we have. So we have over 296 million external research awards. And then within that, we also have a more larger network within just Boston, and hence why you're here, because one of our campuses we have is Arlington. So College of Engineering is at all of these 9 campuses, and we continue to keep expanding. We're all the way from West Coast, coast to coast, from north as well as south. So the one that we're going to focus on today will be our Arlington one, which you'll see right here. And within that, what is the College of Engineering, right? So like I've stated earlier, we make 1/3 of the student population. So we have over 10,000 student body. Our grad population is probably one of our largest populations we have this year. So we have over a little bit close to 6,300. And then these are what our rankings are. We're 34 best engineering graduate school, as well as the best and 35 best engineering undergrad. Within that, what we have is we have 403 full-time faculty members and 248 tenure track faculty members. So our faculty are very much involved within the research they do, as well as they are also in industry. So you'll see faculty that are working constantly and then also keep their foot in the industry to keeping the momentum going and bringing in people they've worked with within the classrooms. And then what it looks like to you, right? So we have over 9 PhD programs and over 32 MS programs. And Arlington is one of our campuses that has one of our very great programs. So we have software engineering systems there, we have information systems there, and information systems bridge there. And just before I pass it on to Emily, just to differentiate between information systems and information system bridge. Bridge is for students, and I think there was already a question that came in prior to this webinar. Bridge is for students that don't have an engineering background that could go into it, and it just adds additional semester to your course load, but your degree does not say information systems bridge, it will just say information systems. So I'd love to pass it on to Emily and to talk about an amazing campus that she's at.
Thank you for the pass off. Like Hadash said, my name is Emily Mazzola. I am the Assistant Director of Student Recruitment and Enrollment, specifically for the Arlington campus. So basically my role is to help the entire application process and making sure that you are having everything ready to go for the Arlington campus. And I do webinars very much like this to talk about our programs and to talk a little bit more about the industries, the area, everything like that. So next slide. So we are located in Arlington, Virginia. So we are on the other side of Washington, D.C. We're specifically in the Roslyn neighborhood, which is the last neighborhood in Virginia before you enter Washington, D.C. So we very much are a part of the National Capital Region, which I include Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Maryland. And so it's brand new facility. We opened about 3 years ago for our students to come and study with us. But what makes it really nice is that it's a very modern and open design. It's very different from the Boston campus, where it's more of a kind of industry feel. There's a lot of desks, there's a lot of open classroom spaces. It's not like your traditional campus. And a lot of our students do really enjoy that aspect as well. There is a ton of amenities that come with the building that you have access to as a student. There's a fitness center that is really nice. I know a few of our students and myself have used it. And then we also have a cafe and a rooftop as well that our students have access to while being here and studying here. Next slide. So these are just some of the study spaces. Some of them are more designed for group collaboration. Some are more designed for more of individualized studying. We have desktops available for students to use. We have a printing service here. But one of my favorite parts are these huddle rooms, which is in the bottom right-hand corner. And essentially what it is it's a personalized space that students can use to talk to faculty, to do peer advising, to have, kind of group meetings, that you can be able to have more individualized private conversations. There's a white noise system that is incorporated in all of those rooms. We also have a TV that you can display any, kind of research or PowerPoints or anything like that if you're talking with a faculty member or another student. So we have a ton of opportunities for students to collaborate with one another, but also study independently as well. Next slide. So these are just some of the classrooms that we have. All of them are, like I said, state of the art. We have tables and desks that move, again, for that collaborative aspect. We have whiteboards. We have 2 TVs in each classroom that you can be able to project. PowerPoint slides. We have guest speakers that also come into our classrooms. Our student services team that does a lot of professional and social events on campus will use our classrooms as well for, more specific kind of events like professional development, resume building, or, having to understand what co-ops are. These are great spaces for that. At the top left is our mock kind of lab classroom. So there is no lab aspects to it yet, but we do have that opportunity as well for, again, more collaboration and spaces for that. Next slide. And these are some of the social spaces. This comes with our kind of just cafe area. We use this a lot, obviously for, lunch and dinner as far as being a student, but also we use it for networking with our partners. We've had women in STEM come in. We've had, some startup companies. We've had larger kind of tech companies also use our space, and some of our students are able to come and talk to those industry members, which makes it really, really fun, really exciting to get to know and network with many different people and many different spaces that you may be interested in. Another really nice space is our Husky Lounge, which are the middle and the right in the top row. And essentially that is more of our social side of campus. So these are older photos, unfortunately, but we have a ton of different, flags for when the Summer Olympics happened. It's still up since then. We have table tennis, we have cornhole, we have a lending library, we have board games, we have puzzles, we have a Nintendo Switch that you can play Mario Kart on. So many different things for you to get connected with the community at large, especially with students that may not be in your class. We have about 8 to 10 different student groups and organizations on campus that range from more academic to more social. So sometimes they also meet in the Husky Lounge as well. Next slide. So we've already talked about this briefly, but these are some of the kind of master level programming we have, from bridge to information systems to software engineering. If you decide as well, like maybe you want to start off with a graduate certificate and then work your way to a master's program, we do have blockchain, as well as the software engineering systems graduate certificate. So a lot of these certificate programs can also go into some of the master programs in these graduate programs. So if you do decide, like, for example, doing the software engineering system, most of those courses will be applied to the master's degree. So that's one way for you to consider, if you're interested but not wanting to go into the full degree right away, that's a great way of doing that. But if you want to go to the degree right away, absolutely, we welcome that as well. Next slide. So these are just some of our faculty that are on our campus. So we have William Claster, who is our program director for the Arlington campus, and also teaches our classes as well. We have Professor Chen, Professor Patel, Professor Song, that are all part-time lecturers. And they range from doing classes in the mornings to the evenings. So these are just some of our amazing faculty members that are really available for our students. I would say that they are very much available to students to talk about their different interests and their different kind of just wanting to work with our students to make sure that they have the best that they can have during our time together with you all. And so they're just amazing. So definitely, if you have questions about our faculty, definitely let us know. Next slide. So the National Capital Region at large, like I said, we consist of Washington, D.C., Virginia, and Maryland. So if I talk about the National Capital Region, or if we talk about the National Capital Region, that is a great kind of indicator of what that means. If you see it on the map here, there is a little star that's right in that red of Virginia. That's actually where our campus is. So like I said, very close to DC. But then what might be good for you all to know is that Northeastern is the Northern Virginia rather, is the Silicon Valley of the East. So it is a very growing tech network, which is really exciting for the National Capital Region. And we have Amazon, we have Microsoft, we have, smaller companies and larger companies and startup companies. And so it makes it really, really nice for you all to get to know the area and get to know kind of this new budding environment that we're having. Like I said, there's no campus housing, but we always are happy to help you relocate. I always have certain kind of areas that I've lived in since I've been here that we've had our students live in as well. So we are always happy to help if you do have any questions about, relocating to the area. We are very public transit friendly, so you do not need a car in order for you to get around kind of the area. Our metro train system is one of the best in the world, and they are incredibly fast, reliable, and super easy. A lot of kind of the housing options that I recommend are always very close to a metro line, but our bus system as well is incredible. Everyone is super nice, it's super clean, it's super effective to get around. So if you're not by a train, you can always be by a bus as well. There's a lot of free activities as well in the area that you do not have to, pay, but there are a lot of just great things to do. We have a great art, music, and theater scene here. So if you are very interested in the arts, that's a great way of going. The Kennedy Center for Performing Arts is really a classic. That's actually this picture right next to the map. It is a well-renowned theater and kind of performing arts area. And they have everything from opera to jazz to music theater to, you know, choral activities. So that's really great. We have a lot of history here as well. It's a very historical area, being kind of the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. The Smithsonian museums have a ton of different free exhibits that you can be able to go to and see, and just kind of get to know the American history and world history as well. We're a very outdoorsy area. I would say Arlington in particular is one of the #1, I think, cities in the country that is most active. So there's a ton of different, run clubs, bike trails, walking areas. The C&O Canal is very close to us, and that's a really great way to kind of get to be a part of the nature around. We also have Roosevelt Island, which is literally like a 5 to 10 minute walk from our campus that our students have gone to. And it's really, really great, especially during the fall and the spring. And lastly, sports. We have a ton of different sports teams in the area. Our Washington Nationals is our baseball team that they're playing currently. But we also have the Washington Capitals, which is our men's ice hockey team. We have the Wizards, which is our basketball team for men's. We have the Spirit as well. And then we have the Commanders, which is our American football team. But we have many other different sports opportunities as well, that are available for cheap tickets and super fun to go to. Next slide. So these are just some of the Arlington neighborhoods. I'm not going to go through all of them because we will be here for a very long time. And we all have other things to do today, but these are just some of the areas. Again, Roslyn is where we're located, so that's going to be the shortest walk. But all of these are metro accessible or bus accessible. I would say the closer you are to Washington, D.C., the more expensive it will be. So if you are interested in relocating to the area and are interested in, being in Arlington, definitely keep that in mind while you're looking into relocating. Next slide. And these are just the DC neighborhoods as well. Like kind of Arlington, the closer you are to the more touristy sections of DC, the more expensive it's going to be. But again, a lot of these are metro or bus accessible or both. And it's super easy to get around as well. So definitely let me know if you do have any questions about anything we talked about today. But I will pass it back, and we'll talk a little bit more about next steps.
Thank you. And I agree. Where Virginia campus is, because Emily and I have met this past summer. We worked a conference together, and it's very easy to get around because I use the train to get around versus taking an Uber or something. So it is very reliable. So like she mentioned, what are your next steps? And we're really excited. So before we start any of that, we do have our student ambassador here, Karthik, who I like for him to introduce themselves. And student ambassadors are basically, they're you. They're just you, but just not a Northeastern student yet. And they've done the steps. They've been in the position that you have been. And sometimes you don't want to talk to myself or Emily. You want to talk to a current student. And that's what the student ambassadors are. If you're on your phone or on your laptop, you could just screenshot that and then take the QR code, and you could connect with our student ambassadors offline without us being there. And whenever you have a conversation with ambassadors, stays with the ambassador. But these are just what they do. There's definitely, we have multiple ways to connect with them. They're very active on socials, and we make sure they're very active on socials. So that's from many events that we host, and then you get all that feed from there as well. So that's what our ambassadors do. There are things that some of our ambassadors cannot do. They cannot like tell you what your application status is or like financial aid or any of that. That you do have to come connect with us, and then we'll connect you with the right office there. So let's start here. And I think he's having issues unmuting himself, but we'll definitely get back to Garth at some point. But these are just some of our prospective student deadlines. So the fall application has not opened yet, but it should be opening up in the next couple of weeks. So your application should be accessible to you. You'll get an email as well if you're ready in the pipeline. If not, definitely sign up for some email alerts. But these are our deadlines for the fall as well as the spring applications are still open. You just have until August 15th if you're an international student outside to just apply for it. And then if you're an international student that's within the states already, you have until October 1st. And then of course, there's other ways. But for the fall, please apply. Something to also note is that there is no fee waiver code for our applications for the spring as well as for the fall. So if it asks you for an application fee, you must have went the wrong rabbit hole or you must went on the wrong page because it shouldn't ask you for one. So the $100 application fee is waived. We do require 2 letters of recommendation, unofficial transcripts, your statement of purpose, a resume, and then if you are a student, depending on where you are, we do require English proficiency exams, so you have the option of submitting IELTS, TOEFL, or Duolingo scores. Our scores a little bit they vary based on which one you submit, so that's shared on our website. Something I do like to point out is that um, you should start your application like in a sense now, like your statement of purpose, have that start typing that out now. So when the application portal does open, it's easy to submit. Also, something to note is that your application is only complete once all of the materials are submitted. So I know sometimes we get a lot of questions like, oh, I submitted my application September 5th, but I haven't heard anything, or I don't know what's going on, or it still says incomplete. It's could be incomplete because maybe we're missing your English proficiency score or we're missing letters of recommendation. So all the documents are not submitted. Your application unfortunately doesn't get pushed in the pipeline for it to be reviewed. So those are just some things to keep an eye out for. And then scholarship opportunities. We still have some scholarship opportunities for students. So if you are a student applying for the spring, you are eligible for a 25% tuition scholarship discount. And that applies to all of our global campus network. So specifically, if you apply for any of the 3 programs that are available at the Arlington campus, you will receive a 25% tuition discount, as well as you could also have, if you're receiving other scholarships, they're also stackable on that piece as well. So those are just something to keep an eye out for. And then keeping in touch, right? So you have us, you could email myself, Emily. You also have other ways to reach out to us. So we have an admissions inbox that is constantly monitored by a team. And we also have a student ambassador inbox as well. And then these are all the other questions or other website links that we have available to you. So without that, I'd like to open it up to the floor for any questions you have for myself and Emily.
I also put my email in the chat as well. So that way, if you all have any specific questions about the Arlington campus, you can be able to contact me directly.
I think we got the fee waiver code entered that there will be no fee for this term. So great question for PhD. So our PhD programs are funded. Unfortunately, they're not currently at the Arlington campus, but that does not mean that it won't happen at the Arlington campus, that eventually we will end up having PhD programs at other campuses. But for this one, currently they're only PhD programs are only available at our Boston campus and our Oakland campus. So that Emily, I'm gonna ask you a question. What is your favorite part about the campus? And then outside of the campus, what's your second favorite?
So the question was favorite thing about the campus,
On campus. Yeah.
and then favorite thing off campus.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing on campus, I honestly, as cheesy as it sounds, the people are fantastic, whether that's students or faculty or staff, we're all there to help you. And, being at other higher ed institutions, it is a very different atmosphere. We are very small, so I think that comes with the size of the campus that we all get to know each other very well. But what makes it really nice is that I have gotten to know a lot of students since my time here and kind of are able to help them with anything that they need. I've had opportunities to do mock interviews for some of these students. And so hearing their kind of what they're doing is really great. And then on the faculty side, like having them be so passionate about what they want to do here at Northeastern and how to help you all is really great. And our staff is just incredible. So I would say that as cheesy as it sounds, that's my favorite part. Out off campus, I am a huge foodie. I love going to new places and trying different foods, and DC and Arlington in particular have great restaurant options. They are just some of the best. So I've had different cuisines from different areas. I just had Ethiopian food before I left for vacation, and that was just like right outside my door. So it's just super cool to kind of experience many different things out in the area that you may not be exposed to back home. So I think that makes it really fun. And it's just a really great kind of area to be in.
Going to assume our student ambassador unfortunately may have some tech issues and is not able to come online. But I do know some because I am part of the MS Council that our student support services team also hosts live events. So something that I think we always tell students, especially I enroll into a lot of master's students, is get involved. The Arlington campus has a lot of clubs and teams and organizations to get involved with. And it's a good way to network because sometimes that networking helps you connect with other members within other campuses. These are MS Council or the MS College of Engineering MS Council connects with students on all of the campuses. So Canada, Toronto, Silicon Valley, Miami, they're all in this. They meet, I think, weekly to bi-weekly, depending on the semester. And it's a good way to talk about your professional growth, things that the campus is doing. They do host a lot of virtual events. So all members of the team could join in and meet and connect with people because I know sometimes some resources are not available on all campuses, but they do a great job. So those are good ways to connect and get involved. And I know that specifically where Arlington is, a lot of the museums and all of that stuff is free. And then when you have a student ID, it's even better because you can even get some great tuition, great discounts to attend some shows and stuff. So I know the campus and people are great. So I've had firsthand experience with meeting all of them. So yes. I'm not trying to sound biased, but Arlington is a little bit, it's close to home because I do have that neighborhood and I just love that campus because I've been at Northeastern long enough when the campus was being built and coming up live. So it's really close to home and it's like a baby to see.
Yeah, we do have a question. So Charles asked, I am rounding up my master's next month and I already have my first and second semester result. Can I use it to apply?
You can. You could definitely use your transfer by at the time of when they're at the end of your application piece or at the review, they will probably ask you for an updated transcript to make sure that it says that you've completed it or that it shows like your term of graduation. So your transcript should normally list when you are graduating, so projected graduation date. So that is something that we do look at, and the evaluations team look at that. No, you don't need to look out for a potential supervisor before applying for the fall. I went for the application portal fee. I something may be off. So I'm gonna just type in the email address you want to email us and we can look into that because it shouldn't ask you for that. These are great questions, guys. But for any students that have questions, like if you're applying for a degree or program within Northeastern, you don't have to look for a supervisor or anything like that. You would just apply and then you would be given during your course period, a faculty or someone will reach out to you on that. I think, like I stated earlier, there's no application fee. The application fee is waived, so you shouldn't be. So there will you won't be asked to pay something, and then I'll just bring this up so then you guys are just familiar with what's required in the admissions requirements. Isaac, I'm gonna have you email our admissions office because we have a specific team that oversees the PhD admissions. Hey, everyone. I appreciate everyone that joined us today. This was super, super fun and helpful. And you see some questions that come in. So I will say this for anything that's PhD related, I will say just email our admissions inbox because we will be connected with the PhD admissions rep, and they'll be the ones to help you answer those questions. But no, applications are sorry, last slide. This is just what it looks like. The applications for fall won't be open until the end of the month or the beginning of September. So that's just a heads up, everyone. But this is what it looks like on the application deadline. Type to this too. Okay. We like all for your time, especially depending on where you are. So if it was late for you, we thank you. If it was early for you, we also thank you. But we hope you guys found this very helpful, and this will be shared with you all, and it will be on our YouTube page. So thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.